Good morning. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. My name is Angela, and how's it going? I've been gone I took last weekend off. It was a holiday weekend, little under the weather, and I said, I'm taking the weekend off, and I have no regrets. I don't regret that decision at all. I feel rested and ready to go and ready to continue working on our project. Don't really care anymore about deadlines or any any imaginary deadlines that I set for myself. I'm done with that. I'm not worrying about that stuff anymore. Life's too short and I'm stressing myself out over YouTube, and I'm just not doing that anymore. So that's more than you need to know or even probably care about. How's it going? My name is Angela. I am a front-end developer and software engineer in St. Paul, Minnesota. And on this channel, we just practice front-end development, vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I really don't use frameworks or libraries on this channel because I want to just practice the basics, and I want to show other developers, especially new developers, that you don't need package managers, you don't need libraries, you don't need frameworks to just get started and build something. So we're not anti-framework on this channel. We're more just about the basics and understanding what the browser natively renders, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and just getting some easy wins, seeing your stuff in the browser. So that's what we do here. Boy, that's a lot. I don't plan out these intros when I start. So Go Elmo is here, formerly Go Elmo Go, formerly Malik Robinson. Malik is a mod in the chat. We love Malik. Thank you for being here, Malik. I appreciate you so much. Do me a favor. If you would be so kind as to like the video and subscribe, I would appreciate it so much. Or don't. I don't really care either way. Not anymore. If you like it, you'll like the video. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you'll subscribe. I'll keep reminding people, but I'm no longer obsessing over subscribers. I don't have time for it anymore. I've had a little bit of a transformation over the last couple of weeks, just sort of like evaluating my mindset and my motivation. So there's that. All right. Well, what are we working on? Wrong screen, Angela. So we're on the finishing stages of this layout called Italia. Well, originally it was called Ink. Like that was the name of the mock-up. And if you're new here or you don't know or you haven't heard me talk about this, many years ago when I started freelancing, I would buy pre-made mock-ups, like Photoshop mock-ups, because I'm sort of a very average designer. I'm not a confident designer at all, and I needed help with like layout ideas and design ideas. And buying mock-ups was really a fantastic solution. It helped me so much when I was freelancing, so I could just focus on the coding. And it did help me build my design skills. And I have dozens and dozens of mock-ups. So every month or so, I choose a mock-up, generally like a one-page layout and design, and we just work on building that out with vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we're on the tail end of building this out. I'm very happy with it. I sort of gave it this Italian theme just because, well, let me pull up the actual mock-up here, which I should have done already. So here is the original mock-up. So I don't tend to go the route of the fully flushed out high fidelity mockup. I tend to go for the low fidelity mockup. And by low fidelity, I mean like gray boxes. And then I will go and source my own images. I will generally swap in my own color palette. And of course, I'm not using I will match the fonts that they're using, but I generally will switch up branding in terms of like a logo. I wouldn't say I really have a logo for this, but I did decide to kind of go with an Italian theme. And then I just went on Unsplash to get free images of Italy. That's all I really did. And then I decided to call it Italia. And I enjoy showing you guys how to use design tools and make your own logos and things like that. So when I choose these layouts, I choose them because I like them and I genuinely want to build them. But then I put in my own color palette, my own images, and I'm just like, wow, I love it. I love it. It looks so good. Do not underestimate the power of like good images. So powerful. So powerful. So I'm really enjoying working on this. And of course, we have a nice scroll animation with a sticky header. We have some refinements here that we need to do this weekend. Honestly, we really need to get this. I'm hoping to get all of the refinements done. Let's see here. Hoping to get all of our refinements done today. And I just do that again. There we go. Hoping to get the refinements done today because I would like tomorrow to be deployment, and I scheduled tomorrow's stream as a deployment day. But honestly, I'm fine pushing deployment off until next weekend. I'm just not. I'm not gonna rigidly adhere to these deadlines anymore. It just takes as long as it takes. This is supposed to be fun and about practice, and I'm just not into the stress anymore. I think I've proven many times that I can start and finish a project, and if we go an extra day or an extra weekend, I don't really care anymore. Who gives a shit? Seriously. So yeah, so there's that. So I'm gonna try to get my to-do list done today, and then we can do deployment tomorrow. So there's that. Let's see here. Rehan Anwar is here. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good idea. Better to enjoy the process. Listen, deadlines are important. If you have a job or freelancing clients, I suggest that you find a way to manage your time wisely and stick to your deadlines. However, that's simply not the case here, is it? I do YouTube, so I don't have to deal with that bullshit. We're on Angela time. We're not on anybody else's time. We're on Angela time. So, let's see here. Whoops. Okay. So this is my little to-do list. So, oh, you probably can't see that too good. Style search for mobile. Yeah, we do need to kind of refine that search for mobile. And I have some ideas about that. We need to refine all mobile styles. We need to implement the JavaScript slider and video. And I'm just now thinking that I did not prep a video. So why don't I show you how I prep a video? That I think could actually be useful and informative. If you've never done any video editing, there's definitely a learning curve to editing video, but it's not impossible. So let me show you how to prep the video today. It'll go pretty quick. And then we're going to use GitHub Copilot to implement the video player and the slider. So this right here, and then right below it is going to be the video. This is supposed to be just a media file right here. I'm going to take that out because I'm very annoyed right now with YouTube and music. And I'm going to, part of my mood and my attitude about YouTube right now has to do with the fact that I had a license to something called Artlist. So Artlist is basically a place where you can buy, like, get a license for music, right? And I don't use a ton of music in my videos, but I was doing a lot of vlogging this summer just to see if I enjoyed doing it. Spoiler alert, I don't, so I'm not really going to do it anymore. But I was using music And I spent like $300 on a license for a year for Artlist to use music. And one of the pieces of music that I used was some classical piano music from a composer named Eric Satie. Eric Satie has been dead for 100 years. And so classical music, if you don't know this, is in the public domain. But what is copyrighted is the performance, the artist, the person performing. That is still copyrighted, even though the music itself is in the public domain. Okay, so I used this piece of music by Eric Satie that I downloaded from Artlist that I had a license to use, and I used it in one of my vlogs. Then about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and the vlog was like from a couple of months ago, from like 2 or 3 months ago. And then 4 or 5 weeks ago, I get a notice from YouTube that they flagged that classical music in that vlog, and they gave me not a copyright strike, but a copyright claim, meaning that if I were monetized, which my channel is not monetized, but if it were monetized, that particular video could not be monetized because I have a copyright claim for that music. So YouTube let me appeal that. Except here's the thing with appealing copyright claims. You don't appeal to YouTube. You appeal to the artist on YouTube whose music YouTube says you are using. So that music I got from Artlist, but YouTube flagged it as music that I got from another creator on YouTube. So when I appeal to that creator. So I do the appeal and I'm like, listen, I had a license from Artlist. I downloaded this music from Artlist. This is not your music. This is a completely different artist. I have a license. And what do you think that artist said? No, I'm not removing the claim. Okay, so this is not a copyright strike. This does not impact my channel negatively. For the love of Christ, I'm not even monetized. So it has really no impact on me, except that it pissed me off. I am so angry about it. Yes, I need to let this go. I need to build up some better coping skills to deal with these feelings, because this stuff's going to happen. But it just made me so mad that I spent $300 on a license. I used that music. I wasn't stealing anybody else's music, and that still happened. It just makes me so mad. So then I think about how stressed out I get about like coming up with ideas for projects, doing the live streams, projects that the editing, the planning, the filming, all of that stuff. And I'm not even monetized yet. And I've accepted that monetization takes as long as it takes. I have accepted that. So I'm not upset about that at all. I wish it would go faster, but I'm not upset about it because I'm here for it. I'm here for the long run. What I'm upset about, though, is that I put all the time and energy and effort into like creating projects and doing the live streams and doing the filming and doing the editing, and then bullshit like that happens on YouTube. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why am I trying so hard? Why am I working so hard? This is bullshit. So I'm a little salty right now. I'm a little salty. So last weekend I was like, I think I need a weekend off because I'm annoyed. And clearly I'm still annoyed. Clearly I'm still evaluating my life choices. And here's the thing is I love YouTube. I love it so much. I've already exceeded my wildest expectations by all the streaming and the projects and the things I've posted. And I'm not planning to stop. But I'm also just like, time to evaluate for 2026 what my plan is moving forward. What is the plan? What is it exactly that we're doing here? So there's that. All right. Well, I wasn't planning to talk. I actually wasn't planning to talk about all that stuff, but clearly I needed to get it off my chest. And I know I'm not the only person on YouTube who runs into these problems or has these issues, but it can be frustrating. So I will probably never use music again in anything, which is really sad because I just found Creator Mix. Well, I found Creator Mix a couple months ago. This is royalty-free music from a creator. Let's see here. Nick Nimmin. And so Nick Nimmin has like a channel about YouTube, right? Like he's one of the there's a few of these that I actually really like, and he's one of them. Nick Nimmin. He's like a YouTuber about YouTube. So him and his brother set up Creator Mix, and this is all royalty free music. You just have to sign up for a free account. You can I think pay for premium, although I guess I'm not clear on what you get for premium, but basically anybody can sign up, and it says no DMCA or copyright strikes ever. And so, and I love their music. It's a small catalog. It's a small catalog of music, but I love their music. Some of their 80s music in particular is really good. I like it. But I'm just like, I had a license and I still ran into this. So if I use, like, I'm almost like wanting to send him an email and saying, I had this experience. If I use your music, could this happen again? Because the copyright strike, the appeal is not decided by YouTube. It's decided by the person or the entity or the organization that YouTube says I stole the music from. It's up to them to listen to my appeal. And of course they're going to say no. Why would they ever say yes? Oh, you explained yourself. Of course we'll remove that strike. No. So, I don't know. I'm just feeling a little salty right now about the YouTube experience. It's disappointing to do things the right way and to still feel like it's not a very good system. And if I'm feeling like this now with this small of an audience not being monetized, what happens if I actually do grow this channel and get monetized? This is such a good reminder to not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. Find other ways to make money. Find other ways to build an audience. Because this one platform, if you put all your eggs in one basket, anything could happen. And it could just all disappear. So, yeah. Anyways, all right. Christian Codes is here. Welcome. Christian Codes has a YouTube channel as well. And he's been going, well, he doesn't go live, but he's been posting every day. I haven't watched in a couple of days, Christian, but let me see here. Christian Codes, here we go. Christian Codes, you have over 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Yay. Good job. Good job. I'm very happy. Whoops. I'm very happy for you. So hopefully you can get your watch time up and you can get monetized. After I just went on this huge diatribe about my displeasure with YouTube. We're obviously thrilled for you, Christian Codes. Good job. You got over 1,000 subscribers. So I hope you have enough watch time that you can get monetized. Good job. So yes. Supreme Overlord is here. Hello, welcome. We're glad you could join us. Yes, happy to support fellow creators, of course. So, and just be extra careful if you decide to use music in your videos. So, although I am obviously grateful that I found Creator Mix when I did, and I did not renew Artlist. So, that obviously made me very happy. So, yes. Clap. We are very happy for you, Christian Codes. So, it's tough to get the first 1,000 subscribers. It can be very challenging. So, I'm happy to see other people get there. So, okay. Well, let's see what we can do today. I've been live for 20 minutes and I'm just sitting here complaining. And you know what? I don't really care anymore. Who cares? It's my channel. Complain if I want to. So, okay, so I think the first thing we should do is, I don't think that we need to be this clever with these blue buttons. Do I feel like I had at one point, didn't we do an actual, yes we did. Hang on one second here. We actually did a mock-up. Let me pull that up and let's just look at that again. I don't know why I took the trouble to do that and then not follow it. So let's just make sure that let's follow our mock-up. We don't have blue buttons here, so let's just go ahead and remove the blue buttons. Let's make sure that we're centered. Did we center things? We did center things. Yeah, so we'll just take these blue buttons out. So apparently I did different styles. Oh, that button, you can't see that button. That's why. Hang on, where's our... So here's the open button. And then here's, oh yeah, here's the open search button. Oh yeah, they're, okay. So here's the menu button. So I don't think we, of course, what do we want it to, I mean, do we want the hover? I don't usually do circles, so I'm going to take out the border radius. So I think these could be, we could still do these as hovers. I think that would be fine. But let's just worry about desktop. Let's get this looking the way it should on desktop. I'll take out this transition. We don't need this now. We still need the margin because we need that margin to push this to the top, right, bottom, left. Push this to the left. I don't know if we're really going to need this padding. These are the pseudo classes. I'm going to just take those out for now. Okay, so we have to make sure that we have a desktop. So this stroke would be, I guess we can just go with black. Yeah, that works. But do we need 48? Yeah, we do need the padding. We do need the padding. And I'm going to take out the border radius. And then this would be, instead of blue, these would be transparent. Whoops. And then, yeah, we would want to transition the background color and the border. So I'm just going to change this to all. All right. So these are our desktop styles. So our background color would be, we could do blue because that's what our buttons are, right? And then the border color could also be blue. And then we would want to transition this to white. I think this is right. Yeah. Timing is off. Why is the timing off? So border, background, transition all. I think it's because these are different. Why does that timing? Is it because I think we don't need a border? Why do we need a border? Yeah, we don't need a border. If it's just going to be solid. Also, the timing on that transition just doesn't, it just looks off to me. 300 milliseconds ease in out. The stroke, 300 milliseconds ease in out. That does look better to me. And then let's just give it a tiny border radius. Just a tiny border radius. This is, I don't, people know that I don't generally like a border radius, but it's on these buttons, I do like it. It just, I don't know, it just looks a little smoother. So there we go. I think that looks just fine. And then this is automatically gets the same styles because they have the same class. And then 48 by 48. Also 48 by 48. So perfect. Beautiful. So let's make sure now that we do the same thing for the search button. Which right now is 52 by 52, which is because of the border. It is because of the border, which we no longer need. So don't need. I'll just do 5 pixels. The background color will be transparent. This will be black. This will be blue. And this will be white. And now we're 48 by 48. Okay, so now we have to deal with how the search is actually going to look on mobile, because it doesn't look too good right now, does it? So let's actually, all right, what else is, okay, so I think that we are going to need to actually make the rest of the design mobile. Yeah, we actually need to make this mobile. So let's just drop down to the footer and finish making the footer mobile. So we have a better mobile experience up here, which right now there's a lot of overflow. That's why this is happening. So let's decompress and collect ourselves. Yeah, this doesn't look right. What's happening? So once we get our footer together, this will look fine. So let's skip down to the footer and then we'll come back up to the header. And yeah, it takes as long as it takes. And DJoy09 says, good job enjoying the process. Thank you. You must not have been here earlier, you know, like 10 minutes ago. So thank you. Or if you were, thank you anyways. So I appreciate it. Okay, so, and this is on the list, so let's go back to our list. Style search for mobile, refine mobile styles for social nav. So I think for these social navigation, the social navigation here, I'm just going to stack them up. We're just going to line them up. I don't think there's really any reason to do anything particularly fancy or clever. Yeah. And then we're going to do, so we have 6 across for the Instagram grid. We're just going to do a 3x2 to stack those up. So easy peasy. We don't need to reinvent that wheel, I don't think. So this is grid 1010. So I think all we need to do is tinker with this. And at what point do we want to do that? So there's 1024. There's 960. Oh, look at Chrome. Can you see this up here? Chrome updated, so there's like, it's like a decimal point for the screen width. So, but it's only like 0.4. 956, 958.4. That's weird. Why 0.4? Explain that math to me. Why 0.4? Do we see that decimal? Why? I don't. Okay. So technically this does hold up to 960. I think it's a little squish. I mean, I guess it's okay. We're gonna pop this into mobile at 1024. Yeah, we're gonna pop this into mobile here. So at media, max width 1024 pixels. And we really just need one FR. And then align items. I mean, technically I want them to be, hang on. We can't just do... Oh, am I doing text align center? That's why that's happening. Got it. Where am I doing that? Social nav li. Text align left. Yeah, it's because the... Can we still do... So they're full width, so there's nothing really to center, right? So I want them to be centered, but still aligned on the left. You know what I mean? Which means I probably need to change the width. So the okay, so we can do this. So the li is still in a column. So let's, yeah, so we'll change this. So the social nav a, we would, okay, I have to think about this. So first of all, we need to change these to display block. Maybe we could do display inline block. Width auto, margin 0 auto. Social nav a. Display inline block. Width auto, margin 0 auto. If I think I have to put a width here. So if we just said they would have to be display block, which is fine. But this is essentially what I want. Could I still do auto? No, you have to give it a width. What's the widest one? Yeah, I think that that's okay. I think that's acceptable. Does this still work if we do min width? No. Okay. So we'll do width. We're going to do width 200 pixels, but we'll do max width 100% just to be on the safe side. And then this does need to be display block. This is what I want. I want them to be centered, but I still want them to be justified on the left. And then let's put a little bit of, I guess we could still just do gap, right? So we'll do gap 0.5 rems. Gives it a little space. Maybe we want to put a border because we have a border there. So maybe we want to put a border in between. Yeah, let's do that. So instead of gap, Well, we also have to clear the border from desktop. Which is on the LI. So we'll just do border right, none. Border right, none. And then we'll do border bottom, 1 pixel. Yeah, so instead of let's see here. Let's do something like this baby blue might be better. Yeah. And then instead of gap, we really need to use padding and margin. So padding 0, 0, 0.5 rems, or we could do 0.25, and then margin 0, 0, 0.25. Did I put in the right thing? No. We want to put it here. There we go. So now we have a little bit of space in between. We could definitely increase that space. And then let's just clear the last one here. Social nav, LI, last of type, border, bottom, none, padding 0, margin 0. There we go. There we go. We're not done yet, but this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I envisioned. Yeah, I'm fine with this. And let's see here. Go Elmo Goes says, I picked the next project I will do. I'm going to recreate the ocean you did a while ago, since it was the first project I've seen you do. Will be in React though. Yes, Malik is learning React. He's been which I just so admire. I so admire. Let's look at the ocean. Let's see here. And that gives me a good reference for when you started watching, because I know you started watching Malik in 2025, right? And I think I started 2025 working on this. We spent weeks working on this because I insisted on building the entire set of mock-ups, every single page that came with this mock-up, and it took a really long time. And this was the project where I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to we're just going to pick one and work on it. So, but I did have a lot of fun building this, and I would love to see how it turns out. So hopefully you'll be willing to share that with us once you're done. Yeah, that's so cool. And let me see, are the mock-ups even still available? So the mock-ups are still available on ThemeForest. If you want to buy these mock-ups, how much are they here? It's $5. It's $5 for a regular license. You can buy this mock-up. It's old, but you can buy this mock-up and build this out. So I'll be honest, I would recommend that you get the mock-ups just so you can practice building from a mock-up. So yeah, so that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And Rahul is here. Rahul is also a mod in the chat. Welcome. How was Thanksgiving? It was lovely. I had a great Thanksgiving hanging out with my parents. It was just me and my mom and my dad and Heidi, of course. Yeah, it was really, really nice. We had good food and it was just a very pleasant day. Oh, and I did go see my sister and her kids. I have a niece and a nephew. And after my folks, I went to go see my sister and her kids. And yeah, it was really, really nice. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's a good food holiday. It's one of the good food holidays that we have in the US. So, and Bakash is here. He says, I can't watch today because my university exams are going on. I'll make sure I get this video back. Well, no, you do not need to explain yourself, Bakash, but can I tell you how touched I am that you come and let us know how things are going? That makes me feel very good. So thank you for letting us know about that. And of course, good luck on your university exams. I am a terrible test taker. Exams drive me crazy. Can I tell you about the exams when I was getting my software engineering degree? So I started working on my software engineering degree the fall of 2019, so right before COVID. And then, of course, that spring, everything went online, and we were exclusively online for like a couple of years. And then as classes started to go back to in person, most people in the software engineering program had the option to continue taking online classes. And through taking online classes, they started to really, and plus the advent of ChatGPT, they started to really crack down on test taking and cheating. Let's just call it what it is, cheating. And so they started doing proctored exams. So for exams, and it honestly really depended on the teacher, but I had one teacher for back-to-back classes where even if you were going in person for class on exam days, we all had to be home. They were using special software where they were monitoring. We had to have the camera on. We had to like move the camera around the room. We had to prove there weren't other people in the room. We had to have the microphone on. You couldn't be looking down. If you were looking down, you were flagged for cheating. It was wild, the experience. So if you are a nervous test taker like myself and you find yourself in one of these online proctored exams, like we weren't even allowed to get up and use the restroom or get a drink of water or anything once the exams start. And I would just be like, I'm in my home. You're kind of pushing your luck here. I'm in my home and you're telling me what I can and can't do. If you want to keep an eye on us, why don't you just have us come to campus and take the exam? There's no reason to have us all stay home and do this where you're invading our privacy. I don't know. It was very, very stressful and extremely unpleasant. So good luck on your exams. I hope you have a better experience with your exams than I did. Although I will say not every instructor in the software engineering program did that. Some were much more lenient. They were required to use the proctoring software to give exams, but they didn't need to make it as intrusive as some instructors did. So I don't know. It was wild. No continuity whatsoever. And Rahul says that he thinks the Ocean Progress project is really well made. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really enjoyed making it. I liked making it a lot. So, and Rahul says, did the software engineering degree help you in your development journey? Also, back in the day, there weren't so many resources on the internet as today. Yeah, it's funny. So, short answer, yes, 100% it helped me because being a self-taught developer, I definitely had gaps in my knowledge. And I didn't understand what object-oriented programming really was until I went through that program. So there were some foundational things that I didn't understand, that I didn't even know that I didn't understand, that I learned going through that program. So for that, I'm incredibly grateful. I'm also, it also taught me that I do not enjoy object-oriented programming. It reinforced the fact that I love front end and I love HTML, CSS, and JavaScript mostly for DOM manipulation, not for really like the programming stuff. It reinforced all of that. Also, my program that I went through, as good as it was very light on front end. We had one class called Web App Development. And they spent like a couple of weeks, like literally a couple of sessions going over HTML and CSS. And I just thought that that was, and no mention of accessibility, no real work around UI, UX, anything like that. Yeah. And so it just reinforced to me how important it is that software engineering programs are so focused on full stack or back end. They're kind of ignoring the front end. And a lot of the instructors were like, oh, just use Bootstrap, just use Foundation, or, just use Tailwind, whatever, that it wasn't really being taken seriously. So it helped sort of reinforce it. The second part of your question, also back in the day, there weren't so many resources on the internet as today. Yeah, I mean, I made this video, not that you need to go watch it or anything. Let's see here. Where's my channel? I made this video. Let's see here. Advice for time traveling to 2010 as a web developer. And the whole point of that video is, what was it like to decide that you want to be a developer in like 2010, 2012, because there just weren't that many resources. For one, you had to be extremely determined. You had to be like really determined and really willing to go out and look for information in order to solve problems, because the courses, the tutorials, the boot camps did not exist. And also, so much of front-end development was just being literally defined during this time. We were learning things as people were defining things. Like 2010 especially was a really huge year for front-end development. Literally, the term front-end development wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even, it was not even a term that most people knew what it meant. In 2010, that is when the term responsive was first developed. I mean, I don't know. It was just a crazy time. So to be a developer back then, you had to be very determined and very focused and really wanting to learn, because there just weren't resources. There just weren't resources. So if you get a chance to watch this video, of course, I would love it if you were willing to watch any of my videos. But this video in particular, I spent a lot of time researching what was actually going on back then, because I was like, am I remembering this correctly? The things that were going on back then. Also, I was so new back then. Like, I was thinking to myself, did I miss anything? Is there anything that I didn't understand? And when I was doing the research about what was going on in 2010, 2012, it turns out that I remembered everything exactly as it happened. And it made me feel actually really honored. I don't know what word to use, that I was learning front-end development at the same time that all of these things in front-end development were happening. I just thought that that was really cool to reflect back on that and realize what an exciting time that was for all of us. So I don't know. I hope that explains that. This is a fun video to make, though. I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. Listen, my videos, it is what it is. I have a small channel. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed making this. It was fun to reflect on that. So And Bakash says, thank you. Any tips for my exam? It's 4 days to go. It's an offline exam paper, data structures using C and C++. Yeah, boy, I had to take a Python. I had to take 2 Python exams on paper. Just practice. That's my best advice. Just practice actually writing it down. Just practice. My best advice is try to get a good night's sleep. Eat a nice healthy breakfast so you can like regulate your blood sugar. Make sure you're hydrated, but of course use the restroom before you actually have to take the exam. So do the things that make your body, your physical health feel good, like having a healthy meal and taking a walk and being hydrated. I feel like when you can kind of lock in your physical needs, then emotionally and mentally you can lock in for the exam. That is my best advice. And if it's on paper, practice writing down data structures on paper because that is weirdly difficult sometimes. So, and Malik shared the link to that video. Thank you, Malik. I appreciate that. And then Bakash says, same in our university, also the same things going on by saying just use frameworks, bootstraps for front end and more focused on DSA and back end logic. Yeah, I think that's extremely unfortunate. I think it's very unfortunate and it reinforces my decision to come onto YouTube and focus on front end, no frameworks, vanilla. I don't know how long it's going to take, and I am clearly not shy about expressing my frustration about how some things on YouTube work. But let me say this as loudly and as clearly as I can for the people in the back. I have no regrets starting a YouTube channel. I have no regrets 100% focusing my time and energy on HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript. I still believe deeply in those things. I know they are my strength. I think that I am a good teacher and I will never stop doing what I'm doing here. I truly, truly enjoy it. I'm just a little frustrated with the process right now. That's all. That's all. And that's okay. And here's the thing about being frustrated with something. I got to get it out. I got to talk about it. I need to like get it off my chest and sort of bitch and moan about things, and then I'm able to move on. And that's just how I am, and that's how I operate. And that's that. So if I'm pissed off about something, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to like say what I need to say, and then I can usually just move on. So I don't know. I feel like I've avoided talking about things that frustrate me or upset me. And I'm not going to do that anymore because I just think that that's pointless. So also it's taken me this long to kind of loosen up and feel comfortable saying what I feel like saying. So, and Rahul says that he joined on October 4th, 2010. YouTube? Did you join YouTube on October 4th, 2010? That's funny. I think that's what you're saying, that you joined back then. And Bakash says, ma'am, your energy and style make you look very young. Oh, okay, good. I'll take that. I'll take that. I am the age that I am. I don't worry too much about that either. So, and Rahul says, channel growth is steady. Salute to your consistency. I wish I had your discipline. Well, thank you. I actually am incredibly happy with my growth too. My growth, wouldn't we all love to wake up one day and see that something we did was viral and we suddenly had 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers? I'm mostly releasing 8-hour and 46-minute project videos, or 36-minute deploy a website. Oh, hang on, you can't see it. So here, my last project video, 8 hours and 46 minutes. My last video, deploy a website to DigitalOcean, 36 minutes. This is not viral content. This is not viral content. This is Yeah. this is this is not going to get me 5,000 subscribers overnight. I know that it's going to take a lot of long consistent work. So, it's okay. Oh, and Rahul was pointing out my start date, my join date. Well, so to be clear, the okay, I know where you're seeing that now, right here. Joined October 3rd, 2010. This is the day I signed up for a Gmail account. That I remember the day I did this. I was on Yahoo for years. And then somebody was like, you need to get a Gmail. And I was like, okay. So I signed up for Gmail. So that's what this is. And I think anytime you sign up for Gmail, you automatically get a YouTube account with your Gmail. So that's what this is. And I posted videos on YouTube on and off for 15 years. I've posted videos on and off for 15 years. And then last year in August, so in August 2024, I dusted off this channel. I deleted all the old videos that I had on here. And I had like, I don't know, a dozen or so. I deleted all the old videos I had on my channel except for these 5 tutorials that are now 4 years old. And then I just started fresh, streaming and creating new content. So I haven't literally been making content since October 2010. This is the day I signed up for Gmail, and I've just randomly over the years posted things to YouTube, but I wasn't really serious about it until last year, about 15 months ago. So I hope that makes sense. So, but yeah, and when I started in August 2024, I had 68 subscribers. So in 15 months, we went from, 68 subscribers to a little over 1,500. So, oh, this is a good question. Do you believe it's better to create viral content to grow on YouTube or to make the kind of content you love? Well, listen, here's the thing about being viral. I mean, how many times have we seen a channel go viral and then they can't sustain that audience? They don't have anything on their channel. They don't have a library of content. They give people no reason to come back and continue watching. If I were to go viral at this point after having 181 videos and consistently making front-end development content, I would at least have a catalog of content for people to come back and watch, right? If I didn't have this catalog, I don't know how I would be able to sustain going viral. So, with that being said, I don't think there's anything wrong with going viral. It's just if you go viral, what do you have on your channel that keeps people coming back? That's my question for you. So from that perspective, I think you're honestly better being consistent and making content you love. And there's also sort of this rule about getting through your first 100 videos and how you shouldn't make a decision about quitting YouTube or not doing YouTube till you've made at least 100 videos. And the reason for that is just everything you learn in the first 100 videos about your camera, your audio, your lighting, editing, getting more comfortable being on camera and talking to an audience. It's just incredibly important. You also, if nobody's really watching you, you have an incredible amount of freedom to experiment, to make mistakes and not be public. Imagine going viral in your first couple of videos and suddenly you have thousands of people watching you make content and you're brand new to the process. It's like you can never make a mistake. You can never change your mind about your format or your niche or the type of content you can make. So I do kind of think it's better to not go viral, but I think it depends on the situation, if that makes sense. So yeah, at this point, I would love to go viral, but what am I going to go viral with? A 4-hour HTML, CSS, and JavaScript sticky header video? Deploy a website to DigitalOcean and set up a LAMP stack with rsync for Mac OS? Is that the type of content that goes viral? I don't think so. So, it is what it is. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually, right? Um, I don't have any regrets, even though I don't get tons and tons of views on my channel. Um, I think about where I was 15 months ago compared to where I am now, how much more comfortable I am, how much better I understand editing and audio and my camera and going live. Yeah, I have no regrets. It takes as long as it takes. So, yes, Bikash, you get me. You see me. You see me, my friend. I appreciate that. One moment. Hold, please. All right. Where were we? It helps to talk. It helps to talk it out. Thanks, friends. I appreciate you. We still have a nice big tap target here. So, I think this looks just fine, just like this. What else could we do here? Okay, so let's tidy up our Instagram here. So here's our grid. So let's just I think we should do it at 1024, just like the social nav above. So we don't need this. We don't need this. So we're going to repeat I think we just say 3, right? Yeah. And then let's make sure that this so this is so this does not have a width on it. So it's interesting that I don't see a width here. So I think that we should what should we do here? How wide is the screen? It's pretty small, so that's like 260. Could we just say white space, no wrap? Yeah. Let's just do a white space no wrap on this div. So what line is this? 212. I like it. So this would kind of be like our iPad experience. I'm good with that. We still got plenty of room for the button there. We got plenty of room for this does wrap. It has to be pretty small to wrap though. Do we want to put like some sort of like little divider in there for the footer? Just there's a bullet, or we could do a pipe. I kind of like the bullet. Should we make our own? Let's make our own. We'll just call it a circle. And then let's go find our styles. So we'll look in the navigation. Right here. We'll just do, well, we're not doing a pseudo class. We're just going to do this. There we go. Look at that. So all I did was add a span with a class of circle. And then we added our little circle. Oh, you can't. Gosh darn it, Angela. Right there. Right there. So now we have a nice little circle down there. Perfect. That's totally in line with all of our other styles now. Love it. Okay, so I see something else here that I want to do. I think that the latest posts on X, this looks fine on mobile. I think this looks fine. We'll tighten up some of this space here. I think when we get down this small, so maybe down to like 450. Well, maybe down to like 420. Let's make sure that this, so right now, these are flex. Let's make these columns instead of rows and go ahead and put the picture on top of the comment. So where is this? 947. Right here. want to look at my markup. So we've got item, comment, figure. So item comment is the parent. So there's items and then there's item. Item. What's items? Hang on. Oh, am I in the wrong place? Here's the footer. Did I put items wrap and items figure? Did I put these in the wrong spot? I think that I did. These are footer classes. Okay. I don't know if it really matters, but I kind of like to keep it organized. I like everything to be grouped. So here we go. Now we have the slider. Oh, I have another class. Did I accidentally put I did. Did I want to do that? Well, but the comments are in the footer, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm getting confused now. Yeah, the comments are in the footer. So maybe I didn't need to recent comments, item comment, comment figure. No, I think that that was okay to move that down. Because this was more structural for the entire footer. Right here. And the comments is its own section. So, okay. All right, that was a lot. Okay, so what are we doing here? So all I really wanted to do was change the flex direction. So flex direction, column, we don't need this. then I think we can reduce the padding, or we could just take out the gap. We could just say gap 0. Oh, but we don't want to do it in 1024, do we? We want to do it much smaller. Are you able to keep up with me? Hopefully you are. I'm barely able to keep up with myself. What did we decide? 450 pixels? And then these are a max width of 300, which is pretty big. So maybe we want to adjust this max width. Yeah, let's adjust that down to like 150. So I think I did that because of that. So 1189. Oh, we have a lot of testing, a lot of QA to do. That's okay. Okay, now let's see how things look. There we go. Much better. Let's center this name right here. So it's right underneath. So this is user, comment user 974. So this we'll just do text align center. There we go. And actually, I think we should take out this margin and just use gap instead. So if we take out the margin, and then just use gap, that is generally, no, you still need maybe we could just adjust this margin here. So what is that? That's the items figure. That's 1006. I want to take out that margin, so item comment. So this. Yeah. That looks okay, right? Don't have too much space down here. We don't have too much space around here. This all looks good. I think we could tighten up this footer a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. So we have, so our footer extends all the way up. Hello, all the way up here. I think we could take that down to 1. And then we need to adjust the padding. Whoopsies. We need to adjust the padding here, which is on the copyright statement. Oh, these are both in the wrong spot. These are both in the wrong spot. There. Oh, this could actually be there. That looks a little better, right? What's going on here? So I think for this, I'm just going to take out the gap here. Did I just put a gap? Is that literally what I just put in? No. No. Yes, you, 33 seconds ago. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna touch it. So, okay. So what's going on here? I think we just need to tighten up this margin right here for mobile. So the grid, okay, right here. This is what happens when you don't work on something for a couple of weeks. Yeah. I'll take this down to 2, but that'll be okay. There we go. That looks fine. Okay, so this is mostly looking pretty good. I'm happy with how this looks on mobile. I'm fine with the spacing. It's fine. Let's see here. So what do we need to do to make this header look normal? So there's the top, there's the I think if we change this padding here, and then here's our nav container, here's the nav wrap. I actually think this could just be 0 because the I think that I added all that padding so the buttons would look okay. Okay, so let's make some adjustments to these things in the header, and I think this will all start to look fine. So first, the primary heading. Let's do that first. So this is desktop. I'm going to change this to 1 rem of padding on the left and right. Start with that. And then, so we have this margin on menu button and on open search. But we also have this padding on this wrap container. So I'm going to take this padding off first. And you can see here when I'm highlighting it that it's off, right? And that's because of the margin. I put margin auto on the left, and that was to push those things over. But if this is display flex, I don't know that we need to do that. I don't know. I'm just gonna, let's start with this wrap. We'll take the margin off. So that's line 456, or the padding rather. 456. So we're inside the media query. And then let's just, on these buttons, just actually gonna comment out the margin. So there's the menu buttons, although I think we need that for the inside of the drawer, but let's just start with this. So those, I think those do look better. So now we probably need that padding, right? Because we do need to push them over. But it's also display flex. So couldn't we just add, we also need to give some gap in the middle, but not that much, maybe just 0.25, just to give it a little separation there, right? So that's the nav container wrap. Okay, so now there's a little bit of separation there. Each button is 48 by 48. That's exactly what it should be. And then I think we do need now to put padding back on this to push it over because it needs more space here, just like the logo has more space. But I think that's too much space because the button itself has padding. So maybe not that much. There, that looks pretty good. So I think that's what it was. There, that looks, so now I think we still need, so this is the close button. So the close button still needs that margin. to push it over. And that is just fine. So this margin right here, this is why we give similar things the same name. So this is why we give similar things the same class name, but also a unique class name. So that's the close button. So just that close button gets that margin, because this margin auto on the left is what pushes that over. So just like that. And then we still have the margin around this, which makes it, gives it a little more space up there. Okay, we're so close. We're doing amazing. Now this looks nice. I like how this looks. It looks balanced. It looks spaced out. We have our tap targets. There's a little tiny gap in between. There should be a little bit of space in between your tap targets. Yeah, this looks good. So the final thing now is just making sure. And I kind of feel like when you open the search, it could just take up the whole header, right? So when the search is active, I feel like when the search is active, maybe the logo is visibility hidden. Right here. So here's the primary heading. So when the search is active, search active, primary heading, visibility hidden. So here's the search form. And its position absolute. It doesn't have a width. It's right up against the edge. So I think we need to give it a little bit of room. Push it over. Okay, so 1 rem. We're going to push it over 1 rem. That's line 606. Okay, so let's test this out. What do we think? So we need to do a little extra styling here, but as a concept, what do we think? So now it's position absolute, so I don't think like width auto is going to work. We're going to have to define the width. Yeah, width auto collapses it. Do I have a width someplace? Yeah, that doesn't work. How is it staying open? I don't remember. Oh, right here. 100% of what? I don't understand. It's position absolute. So the parent is the wrap. That's why. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. hate giving things like this. It's position absolute, so we have to use like you like kind of have to put a width on things. And if I say width 100%, it's 100% of the parent container, and the parent container right here is the wrap where these buttons all live. That's why, like for the nav, all those things have a width on them. And that's fine because those are drawers that you hide or you show. So it makes it difficult though for this to be dynamic according to the width of the actual header. So in this case, it's 375. So if we did width 500 pixels, okay, and then max width 100%, that doesn't work. I mean, what I would do in the past is I would do things like I would just like mess with these percentages. But I'm here to tell you that I don't have a rhyme or a reason for why this does or doesn't work. Well, I know it's a percentage of the parent container, but I don't have like a formula for it. So if we just set this to 265%, how flexible is that going to be? I don't know. Let's try it. Okay. So I'll just say width 265. Yeah, it's always going to be 265% of the parent container, right? Which does me no good here. We might have to, I might have to, I mean, maybe we just want to give it a fixed width. It's position absolute. I remember having to do this and being deeply unhappy that I had to do this as position absolute. I also kind of feel like it might be a good idea to like just visit some other websites. Can we do this now? Let's just let's think of some websites where other websites are doing the same thing. Like I know that we've looked at coach.com. I need to see how other websites are doing this so I can figure out what I'm supposed to do. So here's the coach. Okay, I do remember this now. They hid theirs off canvas. I mean, technically we could do that. Technically we could hide it off canvas. Course. Stop. Oh. Oh, their search is just like right there. I think I need to think about this. I want one more night to think about this. We're very, very close. We are very, very close. to getting, well, I feel totally confident in our mobile styles, but that search could, this is a problem that has been solved many, many, many times. So I want to get it right. And I feel like at this point in my career, I should know what to do with this, and I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to look around overnight tonight, and we are going to, the last thing that we need to do is refine how that search input appears on mobile. And then we're going to do the slider and the media file tomorrow. So that's my executive decision, that we're going to end it here for today and finish those two things tomorrow. And then we'll do the deployment next weekend. That's actually good. That gives me an extra week to prep for the deployment instead of needing to do it tonight. So, and Coding Professional is here. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everybody who hung out with me today. Thank you to everybody who listened to me complain about YouTube. I especially appreciate that. Thank you to the mods, Malik, Gogo Elmo, and Rahul. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody who came to hang out with me today. Yeah, I love streaming. I have no intention to stop, but yeah, I guess I just needed to complain about it today. I don't know why I'm asking for permission. It's my channel. I can do whatever I want, right? Thank you, Malik. Good progress today. Yeah, everybody needs to vent sometimes. Ooh, I'm so mad about getting a copyright claim for music that I spent money, that I bought a license for. I'm glad this is happening now, because clearly I need to get used to these sort of like perceived injustices, right? Not even a perceived injustice. It's a real injustice, but it's so small, so unimportant in the grand scheme of things. I need to I need to feel the feelings and work through all my frustrations. So with that being said, thank you to everybody who liked the video. Thank you if you subscribed to the channel, participated in chat. I appreciate you all so much. Yeah, even though this is just a teeny tiny channel, I still love doing it. I wouldn't trade the experience I've had on YouTube for anything. I know I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again. I've already exceeded my wildest expectations. I can't believe that I'm as comfortable doing this as I am. I never thought that would happen. And hands down, without a question, I am a better developer for having had this experience, because I am starting and finishing so many projects. I am constantly iterating through my own process, and it has made me a better developer. And that is something that I am just so grateful for, because I love doing front end. So there's that. Okay, everybody, have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Hopefully you can come back and hang out with me again tomorrow. We will for sure wrap up these last few things, but I am pleased with the progress that we got done today. So Gogo Elmo says, every time I get upset, I stay frustrated now, and it makes me laugh, and then I feel better. Yeah. I swear a lot, and I just get pissed off and angry. And once I can like get it out, I don't like to hang on to things. I don't like to resent people or things or situations. I like to just be pissed off and get it out of my system, and then I can move on. So, and then let me see here. Shoimo says, thank you very much for liking and showing projects like this. It helps a lot. Well, you're very welcome. And it's comments like this that obviously make me want to keep going, right? When people come into the chat and they're like, wow, you doing projects like this really helps me. Why wouldn't I want to do this? That is an amazing, that I love it when people tell me that I am actually helping them, that I'm adding value. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your night wherever you are. Oh, let's see here. I'm also learning to create websites using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Oh, hang on one moment. Give me a moment here. Okay, let me finish reading this. I am also learning to create websites using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript so I can learn a lot more by watching your videos. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think people know by now that I don't have anything against tutorials and courses, but I think the real learning comes from project-based learning, that you will be introduced to new ideas in a course. Tutorials are about solving specific problems. Projects are where the real learning comes in. There is no substitute for a project where you have to have the experience of running into these roadblocks and these obstacles and one by one having to solve a problem that just sort of appears and presents itself to you. So it's the absolute best way to learn. The reason I do vanilla is because when you use vanilla, you don't need a package manager, you don't need a framework, you don't need a library, you don't need Node, you don't need a compiler. All you need is index.html, style.css, script.js. You can just write vanilla, and those are all things that the browser renders natively. You don't need anything. And the whole point of that is to show new developers especially, hey, let's get you some easy wins. Let's get you seeing work in the browser immediately so you don't have to worry about frameworks and package managers and compilers, because people get analysis paralysis. They're so worried about what they should learn, which framework, which package manager, which library should I learn. How about this? How about this? Let's get you some easy wins and just get you seeing your work in the browser before you worry about all that stuff, because there's too many to learn. There's too many to worry about. And honestly, you should be learning the thing that's going to get you paid quickest. And what I mean by that is, what does your boss need you to know? What does your job need you to know? That's what you should learn. And if you don't have a job or a boss yet, then you should learn whatever you think looks most interesting. That's what you should learn. Learn what you think looks like the most fun or the most interesting. And beyond that, just pick something and start learning it. But if you are experiencing analysis paralysis and you want to get started in front end, just start with vanilla and get some easy wins and get yourself to where you're seeing your work in the browser before you worry about all that other stuff. That's the whole point of this. So, okay. Everybody, have a great rest of your day wherever you are. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.